Pause whatever you're doing because something insane just happened in hip-hop and almost nobody is reading the room correctly. They're staring at the wrong photo, screaming at the wrong man, and missing the actual headline that just rolled into Los Angeles on the back of a flatbed truck. So get ready, hit that like button right now and say it with me. Now, when we talk about Rick Ross, and oh yeah, now when we talk about King Kendrick Lamar, because today we are unmasking the biggest misdirection play of the year, and the Legion of Lame walked right into it like a bunch of DoorDash and cupcakes with no GPS. What's good, family? It's your boy back at it again, and listen, my voice is half cooked from screaming through that Knicks game last night, but I would lose my whole throat all over again for what we're about to break down, because the Drake stands, the certified Iceman cult, the same crash-out lobby that has been melting in real time since last summer, just hand-delivered us the funniest, most embarrassing self-own of 2025. And while they were busy doing that, a convoy of GNXs quietly rolled out toward California, and almost nobody connected the dots. We're gonna connect every single one. So tap that like button, smash subscribe, and let's get into it. Here's the setup. A blurry phone picture surfaces. A man who looks like Rick Ross is sitting in an airport terminal, hoodie up, head slightly down, just a guy in a chair. That's it. That is the entire piece of evidence. There is no plane in the photo. There is no boarding pass in the photo. There is no economy seat in the photo. There is nothing in that picture except a chair, a wall, and a celebrity trying to mind his business in a terminal like every other human being who has ever flown. And yet within hours, the Iceman fandom spun this single still image into a full-blown narrative. The biggest boss is broke. The biggest boss is flying coach. The biggest boss is finished. Drake's lyrics are scripture. Drake is a prophet. Drake called it in 2024 and Ross fulfilled the prophecy at gate B12. I am not making this up. That is what they actually wrote, out loud, with their whole chest, in public, where everyone could see it. And family, I want you to really sit with how delusional that is, because these are the same people who could not afford a Spirit Airlines ticket if their Wi-Fi depended on it. These are the same people whose last flight was a paper airplane in middle school. These are the people who think a millionaire's net worth disappears the second he sits in a waiting area with fluorescent lighting above his head. Imagine being so disconnected from how wealth actually moves that you see a man in a waiting area and your first thought is, ah yes, the financial collapse has begun. That is not analysis. That is not commentary. That is a confession that you have never been near real money in your entire life. Let me tell you how rich people actually move, because apparently the entire Drake fandom skipped this class. Wealthy people fly commercial all the time. All the time. Sometimes the private jet is grounded for maintenance. Sometimes the pilot has a family emergency. Sometimes the scheduling gets impossible because you have 3 cities in 3 days and one chartered plane cannot teleport. Sometimes you loan your jet out as an asset because, surprise, a private plane is not a toy. It is a tax-deductible piece of equipment that generates revenue when it is not under your feet. Diddy did it. P. Diddy literally turned his jet into a rental fleet. He paid for that thing and then made it pay for itself. That is what rich people do. They monetize the asset. They do not let the asset sit there looking pretty while their accountant sobs in a corner. My publisher, the man hops on private planes like the rest of us hop on the subway. $40,000 dinner flights, Miami to the Dominican Republic, just to eat at a friend's mansion and come back. And even he, with all that money, still flies commercial sometimes, because life is not a music video. Sometimes the schedule wins. Sometimes the pilot is sick. Sometimes you are getting paid 6 figures to show up somewhere and the math says, just hop on the Delta flight, save the headache. That is not poverty. That is logistics. That is grown man money management. But the Iceman lobby cannot process logic, because logic is not what brought them to this point. What brought them to this point is desperation, because their guy, their hero, their fearless leader has not had a real cultural win in so long that the only thing left for them to do is grasp at airport photos and pray. Pray that the man who used to dominate every Friday is now somehow broke because he sat in a chair. Pray that a still image holds the answer their actual streaming numbers will not give them. They are not analyzing, they are coping, and the cope is so loud you can hear it through the screen. Now, here is where it gets surgical. Pay attention, because Rick Ross, he saw all of it. He saw every tweet, he saw every screenshot, he saw every clown in the comments section calling him broke. And what did the biggest boss do? He did not panic, he did not cry, he did not file a lawsuit over rap beef like certain people we know. Ross did the only thing a real businessman does when the internet hands him free advertising. He turned the whole thing into a commercial. Watch this. He hops on the live, he looks dead into the camera, and he goes, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Young hustlers, listen up. Never respond to anybody not in your tax bracket. Period." Then he laughs. Then he names names. Then he roasts Uncle Murder. Then he roasts a few other randoms. And then, with the smoothest segue you will ever see, he plugs his car show on June 13th. And then he plugs his car soap, Slippery Soap. The man pivoted from being called broke to selling cleaning product in under 60 seconds. That is not damage control. That is a masterclass. That is a man who has been in the game so long he can turn a smear campaign into a sales funnel before lunch. And the audacity, the pure, unbothered audacity, that is the part the Drake fans cannot replicate. Because their guy spends weeks plotting a response, drops a 69-page mood board, names his album something silly, files paperwork over jokes, and still ends up losing the news cycle to a man with a hoodie and a soap commercial. Think about that. Soak in that. Ross did more brand building in one live stream than the entire Iceman rollout has done in 3 months. He took the slander, flipped it into product placement, and walked away laughing all the way to the gate. Now, let's talk about what they want you to ignore. Because while the entire Iceman lobby was busy pointing at a chair, something much, much bigger pulled into California. A flatbed truck, loaded, stacked, carrying what eyewitnesses are describing as a full convoy of GNXs. Multiple, different rims, different builds, all heading west. Now I want you to think about that for 1 second. 1. Why would somebody ship a whole fleet of those specific cars across the country if nothing was happening? Why would that specific model, the one already cemented as the symbol of Kendrick Lamar's entire last era, suddenly appear in transit toward Los Angeles at this exact moment in time? Maybe it's a collector. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's a private buyer expanding the garage. Sure, that is technically possible. But family, you and I both know that in this culture, in this climate, with this specific timeline, coincidence has been dead for a long time. The man does not move without intent. He does not breathe without strategy. He does not let a single visual leak unless he wants you to see it. And right now, in this exact moment, a convoy of GNXs is rolling toward the West Coast and nobody on the Iceman side wants to talk about it. Why? Because it terrifies them. Because here is the truth that the Legion of Lame will never say out loud. Kendrick Lamar has the red button. He has had it for over a year. He could press it tonight. He could press it tomorrow. He could press it the morning of the Iceman release and turn the entire rollout into static. And every single insider, every plug, every behind-the-scenes whisper has been saying the same thing for months. He is working. He is in the booth. He is locked in. And the longer he waits, the bigger the explosion is going to be when it finally lands. Now imagine, just imagine, a GNX Deluxe drops. 3 extra tracks, maybe 4. Maybe DJ Quick on the boards, maybe Hit Boy laced into the credits, maybe a feature from Schoolboy, from J-Rock, from SZA, from the entire black hippie revival that fans have been begging for since 2013. And then, just when the dust settles, a brand new concept album hits the streaming services with no warning. No singles, no pre-rollout zine, no mood board with a man's face overlaid on a Pinocchio puppet, just music, just the work, just the kill shot. And then what? Then what does the Iceman cult say? What is left to argue? Because here is the part they really do not want to admit. The last time Drake tried to respond, the last time he loaded up the gun and pulled the trigger, what happened? He dropped Family Matters. He spent who knows how much money on that rollout. He had the whole machine humming, and what did Kendrick do? He answered with a tweet. One tweet. And then a song, and then another song, and then another. And the entire Family Matters moment got squashed into oblivion in less than 72 hours. That is the historical receipt. That is the precedent. That is what we are working with. So when the same people who watched all of that unfold in real time now want to tell us the Iceman is going to dominate, that the album of the year debate is closed, that Kendrick is irrelevant, family, we have to laugh. We have no choice. The amnesia is the funniest part, and the GNX Convoy is the part that makes them sweat, because they know, deep down, in the place where the bots cannot reach, they know that man is cooking. They know the cars are not random. They know the timing is not random. They know that every silent move from the Compton side has historically ended in a coronation. And so what do? They distract. They find a Rick Ross airport photo and they scream about it for 48 hours. Because if they can keep the timeline busy talking about Gate B12, maybe nobody will notice the flatbed pulling into Los Angeles. That, my friends, is the misdirection. That is the play. That is the entire game. Now let me say something about Rick Ross that needs to be said. Because this man has been quietly building an empire while everybody else has been arguing on the internet. Car shows, sneaker deals, real estate, his own soap line. Yes, that slippery soap is real and it is selling. The man owns Wingstop locations. He owns the rights to his masters. He owns the mansion that you have seen in every other rapper's music video for the last decade because they had to rent the property from him. I have a friend, and I told y'all this in the intro, my homie runs a high-end detailing shop in Miami, and he details Ross's fleet on the regular. We are talking a parking lot full of cars that most people will only ever see in a magazine. And these are not leased. These are not financed. These are owned. Outright, free and clear.
So the next time somebody tries to tell you the biggest boss is broke because he sat in a chair at an airport, I want you to laugh out loud. Then I want you to tag them in the comments under this video, because they deserve the public roast. The reality is that the people calling Ross broke have not been on a plane since Spirit folded. The reality is that they would not survive 30 seconds in his actual life. The reality is that the Iceman fanbase has reached such an advanced stage of cope that they are arguing with photographs now. They are not arguing with the music because the music is not winning the way they need it to. They are not arguing with the numbers because the numbers are not landing the way they need them to. They are arguing with chairs, with waiting rooms, with hoodies, with the lighting in a Delta terminal. That is the level we are operating at. And I, for one, am here for every single second of it, because the entertainment value is off the charts. Let's talk about the streaming reality for a second, because while everyone is busy looking at airport photos, the actual numbers on Iceman are doing what we all suspected they would. The opening week buzz fades. The casual listener moves on. The hardcore fan base keeps spinning, sure, but the cultural footprint, it evaporates. Compare that to GNX. Compare that to a Kendrick rollout. Compare that to the way TV Off became a moment, a meme, a Super Bowl performance, an entire era. The gap is not subtle. The gap is canyon-sized. And we have not even gotten to whatever he drops next. Now let me give you my honest read on what is about to happen, because I have been watching this closely. The cars, the silence, the insider whispers, the way the West Coast has been buzzing for weeks. My read? We get 2 pieces of music from Kendrick before the end of the year. Maybe a deluxe with 3 or 4 bonus tracks that close out the GNX chapter. And then, shortly after, a brand new concept album. Something completely separate. Something that locks the album of the year debate so tight you can hear the click. And when that happens, the Iceman discourse becomes a footnote, a trivia question, a what was he thinking moment that survives only on Reddit threads. And to the Drake stans watching right now, because I know you are watching, I know you cannot help yourselves, I want you to do me one favor. Save this video, bookmark it, come back to it in 6 months. Come back when the deluxe drops. Come back when the new album hits. Come back when Rick Ross is doing a victory lap on his car show stage with slippery soap merchandise selling out at the merch table. Come back and tell me with a straight face that the airport photo was the win. Tell me that Gate B12 was the smoking gun. Tell me that you nailed the moment. I dare you. Because we will all be right here ready to read those comments out loud in a future video. Let me zoom out for a second, because I think this moment is bigger than just Ross or Drake. This whole episode is a window into how broken the modern hip-hop discourse has become. We used to argue about bars. We used to argue about beats. We used to argue about who had the better verse, the better hook, the better album cut, the better mixtape run. Now we argue about chairs. Now we argue about hoodies. Now we argue about whether the lighting in a Delta terminal looks economy enough. That is where we are. That is the floor. And the Iceman fans helped lower it to this level because they could not win on the merits. So they took the conversation underground, into the gutter, into a place where photos replace songs and screenshots replace bars. And the saddest part is, they think they are winning, when really they are just digging the floor lower for everybody. But I will tell you who is not digging: Kendrick. Kendrick has not said a word in months.
Kendrick has not posted, Kendrick has not subtweeted, Kendrick has not done a single interview where he even mentions the situation, because he does not have to. He is letting the work speak for itself. He is letting the GNX run its course. He is letting the Super Bowl performance echo. He is letting the tour grosses do the talking. And every time he stays silent, the silence itself gets louder. Because silence from a man who can level a career with one Friday drop is the most threatening noise in the industry right now. And I want to highlight something nobody else is talking about. Look at the timing of these GNX sightings. Look at when they happened. Look at the week. Look at the news cycle. Right when the Iceman rollout was supposed to dominate the conversation, right when the mood board and the cube and the zine and all of the spectacle should have been the only thing anybody could talk about, that is the exact moment a fleet of GNXs gets loaded onto a flatbed and starts rolling toward LA. Coincidence? Maybe. But in this culture, in this rivalry, with this level of strategic precision on the Kendrick side, I do not believe in coincidences anymore. I believe in chess. And right now, Kendrick is 12 moves ahead, while the other side is still arguing about whether a chair counts as economy class. Let me give you something else to chew on. The car show on June 13th that Ross just plugged. Think about how perfectly timed that is. Ross is doing exactly what the smartest people in the industry do, which is take a moment of negative attention and convert it into a future event. He is not begging for sympathy. He is not crying broke. He is selling tickets. He is selling soap. He is selling presents. And by the time June 13th rolls around, half of the same people who called him broke are going to be the ones buying tickets just to see if the rumors are true. That is reverse psychology weaponized at the highest level, and the audacity to do it on a live stream within 24 hours of the slander hitting the timeline is something only somebody with real money confidence can pull off. And speaking of confidence, let me touch on the contrast for one more second, because the contrast is everything. On one side, you have a man, Drake, who allegedly took someone to court over a rap beef, filed paperwork, got lawyers involved, tried to litigate punchlines. That is the official record. And on the other side, you have Rick Ross, who hops on a live stream and laughs the slander off, names a soap brand mid-sentence, and books a car show. Two totally different responses, two totally different energies, two totally different levels of comfort with their own position in the culture. And the audience can feel that difference. Even the people who do not want to admit it can feel it, because confidence has a frequency, and these two frequencies are not even close. Now I want to address something I have seen in the comments under other videos. Some folks have been saying, well, even if the cars are for a Kendrick project, what if it is just a music video? What if it is just a single? Even if it is just a visual companion to one track? And listen, that's a valid question, a fair one, so let me answer it directly. Even if it is just a video, even if it is just a single, even if it is just a visual companion to one track, that is still a Kendrick move at the exact moment the Iceman is trying to dominate. And one Kendrick move, no matter how small, has historically been enough to derail an entire opposing rollout. We have seen it before, we will see it again. So whether it is a deluxe, a single, a video, or a full album, the cars rolling west are a signal that something is about to happen. And history says, when he signals, the world listens. Let me also remind everybody about the people who said GNX was a flop. Remember those takes? Remember when the Iceman fans were trying to convince us that nobody was listening, nobody cared, nobody was going to remember the album by the next quarter? Well, here we are months later. The songs are still in rotation, the tour broke records, the Super Bowl moment is permanently etched into pop culture history, and a fleet of the actual cars from the album cover is rolling across the country in a way that has people talking. That is not what flop looks like. That is what cultural permanence looks like. And every single person who tried to call it a flop now has to sit there and watch the album extend its lifespan a full year past release. The receipts age beautifully when you are on the right side of history. So let me bring this home. Here is the takeaway from today's breakdown. 1. The Rick Ross airport photo is not a financial collapse, it is a free advertising opportunity that Ross is currently milking for soap sales and event tickets. 2. The Drake fanbase attacking him over it is openly admitting they have never been near real money and have no understanding of how wealthy people actually live their day-to-day lives. 3. The GNX Convoy heading to California is the real story being buried by manufactured noise, and depending on what it turns into, it could end the entire Iceman conversation before the album even has a chance to settle into the culture. And 4. The man behind the curtain on the Compton side is moving with the same patience and precision that has won him every round of this rivalry so far, and there is no reason to believe round whatever we are on now will be any different. Now, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Genuinely, because this community is the best part of doing what I do. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think the GNX Convoy is connected to a real Kendrick rollout? Or do you think it's a collector's shipment and nothing more? Do you think Ross is going to stretch this airport story into another month of free promo? Do you think Drake is going to respond? Or do you think he is going to disappear into the studio for another 6 weeks of mood boards? Whatever it is, I want to hear it. Because half the fun of these videos is reading what y'all come up with. The takes have been wild lately, and I love every one of them. And if you are still here with me, if you stuck around all the way through, you are the real ones. You are the reason this channel exists. You are why I show up even when my voice is shot and my eyes are tired and the Knicks just put me through another emotional roller coaster. So tap that like button, hit subscribe if you have not already, ring the bell so you do not miss the next breakdown, and do me a favor and share this video with one person in your group chat who still thinks the biggest boss is broke. Because they need to see this. They need the public service announcement. They need somebody in their life to pull them aside and say, hey, sitting in a chair is not a financial indicator. Please touch grass. And one last thing before I go. If you want the conversation rolling, I am most active on X these days. The link is pinned in the comments and dropped in the description, so come slide through there. Send me your hottest takes. Send me the videos you want broken down next. Send me the screenshots you think tell a bigger story than people are admitting. Because the next move is coming, and when it lands, I want us all to be locked in together, ready to call it before the rest of the internet catches up to what we already knew. So until then, stay sharp, stay funny in the comments, and I will see you in the very next one. Peace, family.